after this presentation is very different, a very different topic to what you have seen before, or related to, in this session. So the name of the project is eMindGuard. It's a jointly project with the University of Illinois system. It's a system that includes the universities in Illinois located in the campus in Chicago, Springfield, and Urbana-Champaign. I hope that is the presentation, that is the pronunciation. And so, in this presentation, I'm going to tell you also the journey of this project. And what is the product of the project, the goals, the objectives, the structure, and the progress in 3 specific aspects. So, this project started with the signature of the agreement between Cardiff University and University of Illinois system. For that event, the Director of Research of Discovery Partner Institute came. I remember that we talked a bit. And later, the former Director of International visit also the headquarters of the DPI in Chicago. Afterwards, I was contacted by one of the research associates in the DPI. He sent me his work in the topic of health, and we started discussing the work that I did in the same topic. And with this opportunity of funding, this is an internal opportunity appears, Anu contacted me, and we have a discussion about which aspect or topic in the frame of health could be in a common interest for both case study areas, Chicago and Cardiff. And we agree that mental health, focus on young adults, will be a topic. So we submit the application and lead this application. For this application, we invited another colleague, a lecturer for the School of Computer Science, also here in Cardiff University. And we submitted the application and it was successful. So it was personally important because it was the first grant in which I have success, even as co-PI. With this grant, we obtained a funding of 31,000 pounds, that it's equivalent to $20,000, that was split equally between DPI and Cardiff, and from the CUT of Cardiff, we split equally between our school and the School of Computer Science. And we are currently using, this amount is used to pay research associates, research assistants. And currently, I want to take the opportunity to promote, we already have a research assistant, so, but we are going to hire a second one. So this is what we pay. This is the deadline for the deadline to finish the job, and these are the specifications. So currently we are looking for someone with experience supporting the organization of workshops and focus group, and conversant with environmental factors that affect mental health in young adults, and well, support other logistical activities. So if you know someone interested in these topics and with this experience and optional skills, please spread the word. Now, coming back to the proposal, the product of this project will be eMindGuard, that is a mental health assessment app that integrates environmental factors, social media, and location. So the idea is to integrate these elements using artificial intelligence, and that this app provides suggestions to improve the mental health of the user. Now, what is the goal of this project? To provide more precise mental health assessment for young adults, and the objectives will be to take advantage of the information available in social media, using advances in sentiment analysis and natural language processing techniques, integrating exposure data, and based on that integration to develop a vulnerability matrix that provides users with an understanding of the vulnerability in the mental health. Now, this methodology program is more developed from the point of view of the development of the app. So we are using, or people in DPI who are more in charge of the app is using synthetic data because we don't have currently real data from patients. And based on that, they have developed the artificial intelligence model. And based on that, they are identifying the factors that influence the mental health, and based on that, they develop a predicted model for that vulnerability index. These analytics will be used to develop the app. It's a feedback mechanism, and we are in the part of model validation and testing. Not necessarily the app itself, but the data that should be considered in the app. Now, this is the team. We have a US-based team, and is the principal investigator, and Tech is his research assistant. In the team here in UK is integrated by Amir in computer science and me here at the school. We have 2 research assistants, both from computer science. And this is the structure of the project. So, DPI in Chicago is in charge of the development of the app, the website, and they are doing research in 3 lines: crime, risk assessment, stories and emotions, and the socioeconomic and health factors that influence mental health. In the case of computer science, they are in charge of data analysis. They are doing literature review about the detection of emotions, sentiments, and doing the topic modeling. And they are mapping the tweets, because the social media that we are using is Twitter or X now, and they are in charge of the data cleaning and language filtering. So here in Earth Environmental Science, I am in charge of the georeferentiation of urban facilities that could be in the interest of young adults when they are in low or high speeds, mapping and do the spatial analysis and the validation. For the validation, we are planning to do a pilot survey and a survey, and of course considering literature review. Now, we start with the part that is developed by DPI, that is the app and the website. The development of the app has steps that are used in all the apps, that how to structure the user identification, how to store and manage the data of the user, and including the visualization of crime data. So currently they are focused on development the user interface components, and in the research for the crime risk assessment, they are collecting the data specifically for Chicago, and they are integrated that data to the visualization to the user interface. Now, they are trying to establish a correlation between crimes, rates, and mental health to do a personalized recommendation, and refining data to ensure accuracy and relevance of the assessments. Now, what they propose is that in case they can detect, they can perceive that that the user it is in a low mood, the idea is that the app starts suggesting the stories that contrast with that sentiment, with that negative sentiment. For that, they are working on literature review, collecting data, and they are implementing what is called large language models. The next step is fine-tuning. It's based in that case necessarily to compare with real data, not use synthetic data, and then validation and feedback of the user. Now, the last part or the third line research for them is determine the socioeconomic and health factors that have impact on the mental health. For that, they are working in literature review, collecting data, and categorizing some factors. Now, this is the app developed by them. It's here, so I show it because in this app we are able to record the activities related with the project. Actually, one of the activities was an event of the university developed by the medicine school. We presented a poster there in that event. Another activity in which we have participated is the Partner Day event in Chicago, well, the researchers there, and I applied to be part of the GW4 Mental Health Research Network. I was invited, I couldn't attend it because I was in another conference, but the research assistant attended, and she was in contact with people from the university who are working in the topic of mental health. The last event, it was just the record of the World Mental Health Day. Now, the next step for them will be continue developing the app, focused on the user interface, refine models, and do the testing and feedback. Then update the content and improve the user engagement with the website, and deal with the statistical analysis for the data collected. Now, the data analysis is the part that is has been done by the School of Computer Science. What they did is to collect social media data. In this moment, I don't remember the time frame, Twitter data, and they managed to collect data, georeferenced social media data, and they are filtering by city, focused on Cardiff, London, and Chicago. While London, because of course the research assistant Joe, he needs to compare volumes of data, and of course there are a lot for Chicago, a lot for London, less for Cardiff. And they are separating the data for cities. And the other part is to clean the data that it usually involves remove the URL, remove emojis, eliminate stop words like prepositions, and keep relevant words to detect the emotion. Now, for detect emotion, they use something that is called transformation-based language model, in this case the Roberta, and that's what they did. I mean, they analyze the text data and they identify the emotions. Emotions are classified according to the categories that are available in the Geneva Wheel. I'm not sure if you managed to read because the font is very small, but you see it is a Cartesian plane that starts with activated, pleasant, calm, and pleasant. And activated, this section starts with interest and end with pleasure. Then pleasant starts with contentment and finish with compassion. Calm starts with sadness and end with disappointment. And pleasant starts with fear and end with anger. Those are the categories considered, and those in the middle. So, after you do the classification when you use algorithms, they have a degree of confidence. So, those who are above this degree of confidence are selected. The others are rejected, no use. Now, what we are doing at the School of Earth and Environmental Science? Well, first, mapping. We make a list of urban facilities. You can see here the list that could be in the interest of young adults when they are when they are down or when they are in a good mood. But this is only based on what we believe. And I use optimized hotspot analysis to determine which is the area where they are concentrated. Here is Cardiff. And you can see that they are mainly in the city center, starting from Pennell Road, and then around Albany Road, and between City Road and the Youth Park. Now, from Chicago, they sent us a list that I still need to go through, but I plotted for this event, and they include other urban facilities that I haven't considered. Other maybe we need to remove it, other need to be integrated or considered for Cardiff. And again, using the optimized hotspot analysis, we find that most of the urban facilities are located around the campus of the university in Chicago, the downtown of Chicago, and this area that I assume could be another campus of the university. Now, and for which help we need help, and our research associate is to find what the literature says about those environmental factors that influence the mental health of young adults. So far, what I found just quickly, it's studies regarding the effect of parks and green spaces on their mental health. That could be a positive influence, but what about the negative influence? Like pollution, noise, high temperature, crime, the feeling of insecurity. And for that, we need to do a survey, but every survey needs to be piloted. So I applied in June for the Global Well Partnership, following a recommendation from my colleague from the School of Computer Science, and that was successful. So we won £4,000. Thanks to that, we are managed to do an event on which we expect to pilot the survey. So I take the opportunity to promote this event and invite all who are in the target population from 18 to 26 years on almost 3 weeks, 2 weeks and a half here in this building in room 2.38. It will be 3 hours, and of course, in this case, we managed to offer a reward of £12 Amazon gift cards. The launch is on us. And the idea, for those who are interested and spread the word, you can register your interest to participate using this QR, and this QR will take you to this form. This form, there are many things that are optional. The only thing that is compulsory is the age. We don't need to know the exact age. We just need to know that people belongs to the target population, so it's in age ranges. And what is compulsory is the age range and the email, just to be sure that to be able to contact you. The idea is to count with at least minimum 30 participants. So the idea is to encourage our students, PhD students, to participate. It would be really good to count with international students. And this is just some of the questions that will be included in the survey. And the idea is to know who says what, is to what, and determine in the survey what is missing, what is redundant, and this is one of the reasons for which we are involved, determine which environmental factors influence the mental health of a person. It will be totally different from someone from UK, someone from Africa, someone from Latin America. So the idea is to count with diversity. And what I want to let you know, to guarantee that the answer will be anonymous, because the idea is to revisit the survey and then be able to send it out online for a large population group. Now this is my research. This is the progress of this project. Thank you.
Any questions for Diana on eMindGuard?
This is really interesting. I just wonder if you can deploy something like that in a disaster zone, for example, in Valencia after a disaster, or is it a little bit hard because you have to standardize your data set first?
That's a good question. Yeah, that was one of the reasons for which I was interested, because any disaster always mess up with the mental health. Yes, it will be necessary to count with some data sample, real data, to be able that it works. But it will be possible to test it in one event like that. Yes.
Could you, thanks, Diana. Could you just clarify a little bit how the social media data is being used? So is that essentially being used in a diagnostic way for the individual?
Yes.
Or, okay, so in that sense, I mean, how social media potentially, you know, you could argue, is one cause of mental health challenges, and you know we're seeing a trend where perhaps the challenges of that and using social media are being recognised in terms of the negative impacts on mental health. So if we were to see a decline in the use of social media, and you're already maybe seeing people leaving X, Twitter, how would the loss of that data set, I guess, essentially affects the
Yeah, you are right. And you know what is the problem? That usually all the analysis of social media needs to be based on Twitter, now X, because it's for which it has been easy to develop the API to extract the data. Because to be honest, I'm pretty sure that that's why we need to pilot the survey. Young population use more Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat. But the point is to develop the API to extract data from those apps. In the past was also because Twitter or X now, it was for free for research. It's not free anymore. Yes. But yes, it's that challenges the research based on social media. Yes, definitely yes.
Really interesting talk, thank you. I've got a question about how the data is extracted to categorise. Is it always taken in a literal sense from the language extracted to categorise whether it's positive or not, or is it taken in a broader context? So there are a number of words, I think, that are extracted to go positive, calm, on that wheel. Quite a lot in social media, you'll get a lot of sarcasm. I don't know how... Is that something brought into the model when it's picking out of these things? Is it able to do that? Yeah, I guess that's my question.
Yeah, it's a pity that you couldn't attend, because you know what they call large language models or transformation-based models. What you do is you train the data. You have some what you see some people call labelers, and they have text data, and they classify this is positive, negative, or they classify into categories.
Okay.
Yes, and based on that classification done by humans, you can train the algorithms. Yes.
Yeah.
And those algorithms, you can also allow them later. You don't train it. You just give them the data, and based on those previous training, they do the topic modeling. They decided which category is. So there are two ways: for supervisor, which you train, and then you classify the rates of the data, the algorithm make the prediction, or you have already an algorithm trained, and it do the topic modeling. It decides which topics he identifies. Sarcasm is always a challenge.
Yeah.
Because they usually is identified as a positive. I think maybe they have already, in some cases, that managed to create or to train or fine-tune, that's the way they call the algorithm, to detect sarcasm and classify as a negative. But it's usually also challenging as the source of social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Diana. Okay, so yeah, thanks to all of our speakers today, and we're just going to have a couple of words from Stephen to round us off.